So, there was naught left of the overseer but bones, eh? I'll wager he thought to take the pawns with. He always was a spiteful old goat. At any rate, I'm well grateful for your aid, friend. Now that the pawns are on their feet, I only hope they'll heed my words as they have. But I'm not worried. I'll find a way to reach them in time, no doubt. My word! Isn't this the Godsway? With this, I'll be able to guide the pawns to the ref. Now there's no chance of any of them being. Seems I've no end of things to thank you for. I appreciate all you've done here. I'll get the pawns to safety.
With this, their evacuation is all but assured. Godsways are loathsome artifacts, but I suppose they have their uses.
Outstanding.
You would gather materials here, Master. Can we really afford to carry more? Pray, slow your feet. You run too fast for the likes of me.
Let us endeavor to keep up, though we are less fleet of foot.
There! Master!
Our foe is susceptible to lightning attacks. You have my protection.
We've earned ourselves a pat on the back.
We mustn't allow ourselves to become complacent. Take each trial as it comes.
This battle is ours. I cannot thank you enough.
Never you fret. We all have our moments.
More must be urged to evacuate. Let us begin with the place most likely to be armed for destruction. I'll save you. Thank goodness someone has a hand in this.
I'm saved. Thank you, Arisen.
Look, Master, a treasure chest. We shall have to find a way to reach it.
Full glad I am to be returned to you, Master. I cannot thank you enough.
'Tis dark. As pitch, Master. Pray, light your lantern afore I trip.
For goblins!
We have no means of exploiting our enemy's weakness. Lo! A ballista!
It is not how we use this, but when that counts. I imagined would be most beneficial in combat.
I'll take the knife on you. Desperate. Get it.
Methinks these climbs are ill-suited to habitation.
It is a lonely place, to be sure.
I will protect you.
The flow of time feels almost unsteady.
It would seem this is no longer the world we know.
Is there no way to return things to how they were before?
This ox cart's seen better days.
The work of goblins, mayhap.
Careful now!
Now there's a worthy prize. If only 'tweren't so far away. A treasure chest. Oh, my mistake. 'Tis merely another spot for gathering materials. 'Tis an item of exceptional rarity. I cannot wait to tell my own master of its existence. Apologies, Master. My mind was 1,000 leagues away.
Far exceeds.
We must face our foe unflinchingly, however fearsome it may be.
Destroy it! Ere it swallows the land!
Keep it within your gaze! Lose sight of it for even a moment, and the fiend will be upon you.
Of course. Removing the red portions will reveal weaknesses we can exploit.
Of course.
Strike the horn! Now! The monster comes to you!
What a feat! The creature is vanquished! And it appears the Red Cloud's advance has been stalled as well.
I see you do not relent. Your persistence is most intriguing. What is it that alas, would that the world had not come to this? For I am certain that your tale would have been a glorious one. Yet, 'twas not to be. You need only cast your gaze upward to glimpse the futility of your defiance.
The world as it once was is long gone.
What are we to do?
I am honored to be called to your side, Arisen. A place loses its mystique when returned to so often.
Where your overconfidence does not lead to incaution.
There is naught more you can achieve here, Arisen. The time for resistance is long past.
This ladder looks sturdy enough.
With the port crystal placed, we'll be able to use effect. Stone to return here in an instant.
We've arrived well enough. Where to next? Everyone has their own reasons for doing battle. Knowing that doesn't make it any easier to join the fray.
You have my support. I shall never
The
forget.
creature's corpse will serve us well.
You cut quite the hunter's figure.
Perhaps 'tis best to live and let live.
Master, are you unharmed?
Ingredients are plentiful hereabouts.
No harm in picking a few.
Alle
You are mighty indeed, Arisen.
On my way! Attack now! While the ogre's attention is fixed on its favorite threat. Quickly now!
our food stumbles. Just one more visual. Bring it down.
My past are true, and our quarry shall fall!
For the 4th and 5th port crystals, we will need to make... The Unmoored World is where Dragon's Dogma 2's post-game takes place. It is here that we will be able to obtain the strongest weapons and armor, and the resources needed to fully upgrade them. The only issue is that there are both soft and hard time constraints in place that limit what can be accomplished within the Unmoored World. However, by properly preparing for it, and by tackling its challenges in an efficient order, we can make the most of our time in the post-game world. All of that will be covered in this guide, and as usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. We're going to start out with preparations to make before entering the Unmoored World. These preparations should all be done before completing the Guardian Gigantus quest, specifically the step to deliver the empowered Godsbane blade to Phasis, where the quest marker for it is located south of the excavation site.
Different masters
First on the list
favour
of preparations are
different
port
pawns.
crystals.
One
There are 5 that can be
whom I
obtained before
served
entering the Unmoored World, and we should do our best to get all 5. The first is obtained from Brant as a reward for completing the Feast of Deception main quest, which most people will get by just playing through the game. Now, as a quick aside, if you haven't done this yet, make sure to visit Melve beforehand, as some quests will be closed off after completing the Feast of Deception quest. Those quests involve getting the Mystic Spearhand vocation and romancing Ulrika, but I digress. The second port crystal is obtained by completing Glyndor's questline. It can be initiated by speaking with Glyndor near Roderick's smithy in Vernworth and giving him a human-made bow. The port crystal is ultimately awarded after completing the A Trial of Archery quest. I have a more in-depth guide on how to complete this questline, and I'll leave a link to it near the bottom of this video's description. You'll also want to complete this quest for another reason, which we will discuss soon.
It might
The third port crystal can be found in the Forested Griffin's Nest, which is just south of the Misty Marshes. You can reach it by climbing a rocky path north of the Mount Roadway shown here, or by working your way through the Misty Marshes. For the 4th and 5th port crystals, we will need to make our way to the Sphinx, located in the Mountain Shrine. The quickest path to reach her is north of the Border Checkpoint Rest Camp. A minor road will eventually curve east and lead to the ancient battleground. North from there, near the top of a ruined fortress, is the entrance to World's End Cavern.
It's rather valuable.
A fitting reward for a rigorous search. Most impressive, Master!
Let us not get ahead of ourselves. The battle continues.
It can be a little tricky to navigate this cavern, and it involves destroying a boulder that is blocking the main path over. In any case, once we do make it through, it is a fairly straight shot through the shrine corridor up to the mountain shrine. Feel free to complete all of the Sphinx's riddles on your own time, but for the purposes of the port crystals, we only need to do 2. The first is a Riddle of Madness. For this one, grab your main pawn, which is right trigger on Xbox controller, and use the same button input to place them down in front of the Sphinx. Then, speak with the Sphinx and confirm your answer for the Riddle of Madness. The second leftmost chest behind the Sphinx should unlock, and it will contain the 4th port crystal. For the 5th port crystal, we'll need to complete the Riddle of Conviction while we have a port crystal in our inventory. This riddle allows us to give any one item to the Sphinx in order to have it duplicated. Choosing to give a port crystal here will grant us an additional one when we open the chest that unlocks behind the Sphinx. Next up for preparations, we'll want to complete some specific side quests for different factions, as it will cut down the amount of work we need to do to evacuate everyone in the Unmoored World. The first of these is the full Sacred Arbor quest line, starting with the previously mentioned quest for Glindor. We can find and speak with Darren after completing the A Trial of Archery quest to start the Aelin Arborheart quest. This all concludes with the Out of the Forest into the Forge quest for Darren. If we don't complete this quest line before going to the Unmoored World, then we will just have to do it then. Next, we'll want to purchase a Beastren mask from Ibrahim's scrap store, don it, then go to Higgs Tavern Stand in Back Batal. There, we can pick up some sacks of grain and place them in the nearby bale of hay. This will trigger a short exchange, leading us to a merchant that sells newt liquor, and we'll need this shortly. Once we've made it to the volcanic island, we can find Gautstafer and complete his quest, Put a Spring in Thy Step, which will unlock the Magic Archer vocation and Maester skill. Once again, I have a guide for this entire quest, linked in the video description. In addition, that quest will lead us to Geyser Hamlet, where Lamond can be found. We can speak with him multiple times to hand over all 3 bottles of newt liquor. After doing this, Lamond will reward us with the Warfarer vocation and Maester skill for it. This is also important because Lamond will refuse to help us evacuate the citizens of Volcanic Island if we fail to give him 3 newt liquors, even if we raised our affinity with him by some other means. We don't need to complete Manella's quest in Bac Batal,
Those are not mere clouds. They seem to possess a will of their own.
There must be a way to force them to recede. There must.
These fiends are only truly defeated when their skulls are smashed beyond repair.
Masterfully done!
Once more. Here we go again.
We fight. To arms.
Of course.
No harm shall come to you.
Is there nothing we can do about this obstacle? I can destroy that, if need be. I would gladly be of aid in this.
I'd wager there's ought to be found here.
We ought to take a closer look.
Gadgets are at your disposal.
We've an opening! Focus your attacks!
Strike fast and true, and our quarry shall fall.
No quarrel here. Might we go elsewhere? I expect there's little left to discover here.
Come. The Arisen's motivations are not ours to question.
You wish me to return? At once, Master.
You're welcome to take whatever you like from my pack, Master. I'd gladly see you put what I find to good use.
specifically Shadowed Prayers, where we protect the Empress from assassination. However, if you end up triggering the step where you need to apprehend the assassin before they harm the Empress, it's probably a good idea to do so. Now, don't worry if you are already in the Unmoored World and skipped over some of these side quests. There will be more work to do as a result, but that being said, I purposefully rushed to the Unmoored World and skipped all of these side quests. Because of that, this guide will show how to complete all quests in the Unmoored World, even if you've done the bare minimum to reach it. The one caveat is that bit I mentioned about Lamond refusing to help evacuate the residents of Volcanic Island if we didn't give him new liquor prior to progressing into the Unmoored World. Now, there's one more thing to note before moving on. While it isn't necessarily related to the Unmoored World, we will be on the clock while there, and side quests will become unavailable as we complete the Unmoored World related quests. Because of this, I recommend doing any side quests or tasks that involve unlocking vocations and or their maester skills. I also recommend farming certain boss monsters that have longer respawn times, such as Medusa, Gore Minotaurs, and more. Now let's talk about the final preparations before going to the Unmoored World.
I'm saved. Thank you, Arisen.
These port crystal locations are ordered from most to least important. First is Bakbatal, close to the Flamebearer Palace if possible. Second is the Volcanic Island Camp. Third is the excavation site. Fourth is the Nameless Village. And fifth is the Checkpoint Rest Town. Next up are the items we will want to bring with us. Until we complete the required quests, long rests are super detrimental in the Unmoored World, possibly as detrimental as dying, which will also undo a lot of our progress. Because of this, I recommend bringing a surplus of wake stones and make sure to always keep 1 or 2 on your main character. I also recommend bringing any all-heal elixirs along with extracts that will help minimize the damage taken during combat. Additional healing items and debilitation curatives are also recommended, and a mage with the high halidom and high palladium skills. While there are lots of fairy stones to be found in the Unmoored World, I still recommend bringing at least 10 along to start with, assuming you have them. Also, camping no longer allows us to rest and heal in the Unmoored World, but it can still be done to cook food and gain passive buffs. Because of this, I recommend bringing a single lightweight camping kit. Finally, let's talk about pawns. As mentioned before, a mage with the halidom and palladium skills is going to help a great deal with minimizing damage taken in fights, which is vital to our success in the Unmoored World. Pick other pawns as you see fit, but I went with a sorcerer that has the Maelstrom and Meteoran spells, and a fighter with the Shield Drum ability. Also, it seems like the main pawn will inevitably contract Dragon's Plague sickness in the Unmoored World, so just be aware of that. With all of that handled, we can go to the excavation site and complete the Guardian Gigantus quest. This will be followed by a final standoff with the dragon, and we're going to want to attack it rather than run away. After defeating the dragon, credits will roll and the game will cut to a banquet being held in our honor. To reach the Unmoored World, we must decline our task. Instead, we can speak to the Pathfinder sitting left of the throne. They will move a short distance away amongst the other guests. Speaking with them once more will transport us back in time to the fight with the dragon again. This time around, we'll want to crawl towards the glowing spot on its chest. At that point, our own character should be glowing and we can open the inventory menu, equip the empowered Godsbane blade, and use it on ourselves. Now, I don't think we even need to go through the dragon fight in the first place, and we can just use the Godsbane blade on ourselves the first time we ride the dragon. However, this may cause us to miss out on 100 or so Worm's Life Crystals, or WLC, which are very valuable to start with in the Unmoored World. In any case, after a short cinematic, we will awaken in the Unmoored World, a short distance west of the now uncovered seafloor shrine. The main difference in the Unmoored World is that all the water has vanished, uncovering previously inaccessible areas. There will also be new monsters that spawn, primarily in these newly uncovered areas. Overall, the difficulty is amped up and death is a lot more likely. I also have a super important warning here. If you die in the Unmoored World while exploring, you will lose all progress and start at the beginning of it, at least until you take a long rest, which will serve as a checkpoint. Because of this, wake stones are highly recommended. Also, until we complete certain objectives in the Unmoored World, long rests will cause an encroaching fog to spread further in, cutting access off to certain areas. Upon entering the Unmoored World, Melv will already be covered in this fog and made inaccessible. However, we will now cover exactly what we need to do before taking a long rest to prevent the fog from spreading any further. Before that though, we can move a short distance north to the Bayside Shrine. There, we'll find the Dragon Forged, and he will now have top-tier equipment that can be obtained with Worm Life Crystals. It is likely that we will have enough to buy at least one top-tier weapon at this time, so I recommend picking whichever one fits your chosen vocation. For me, that was the Magic Bow Grianmar. The Dragonforged also has a few fairy stones and a single port crystal available for purchase. In addition, the Dragonforged can provide Wormfire enhancement on any equipment that has already received 3 lesser enhancements. This enhancement will have the weight and greatly increase the efficacy of armor and weapons, and getting the Wormfire enhancement on any item will also unlock the Dragonforged achievement. Once our business with the Dragonforged is done, we can make our way east to Seafloor Shrine. Along the way, there are plenty of fairy stones to be gotten from chests and even certain enemies. It should be noted that the Dragonforged will also move to the Seafloor Shrine once we get there. There is a permanent port crystal at Seafloor Shrine, and activating it will also activate 2 other permanent port crystals, one in Sacred Arbor and the other in Agamemnon Volcanic Island. Before leaving, we should speak with Rithias and the other NPCs to progress the Halls of the First Dawn quest. This will also get us 2 fairy stones. Our next goal is to get back our main pawn. For that, let's go to the Flamebearer Palace in Bakbatal. Then draw the Godsbane Blade to start the quest, A Scholarly Pursuit. And we are going to cover them all now. However, if we have not completed the Ailing Arborheart questline, and in my case, I did not, we do not want to complete the Civil Unrest quest at this time, so keep that in mind. In any case, the first conflict will be in front of the Bakbatal Vocation Guild. After we ask the reason for their duel, we can agree to bear witness and then stand back to watch. After a minute or so of dueling, in any case, the first conflict will be in front of the Bakbatal Vocation Guild. After we ask the reason for their in any case, the first conflict
You've pushed your luck too far. I'll not take that from you.
Pray calm yourselves, good people. I will have none—
Sir Manella, you don't understand. This scoundrel's the one who's—
No, you don't understand. This is no time for the people. We shan't weather this calamity unless we can recall our common purpose and unite.
These writings could be of import.
Shall we take a closer look?
Ah, Sir Arisen. With the world in such disarray, I could not stand to be away from my homeland. Thus did I return. To rent, I maintain order as best I can. But for every fire— But enough of my woes. You wish us to evacuate? May, after all, alas, the people of Batal are far from united in purpose at present. Should we proceed, unheeding of their divisions? I fear that with every soul at their wits' end, as such, before we take any measures, I would have you walk among, and should you encounter any discord, such efforts will doubtless allow the evacuation. As for me, my work here is far from done. Let us part ways for now, and
will be in front of the Bakbatal Vocation Guild. After we ask the reason for their duel, we can agree to bear witness and then stand back to watch. After a minute or so of dueling, the 2 fighters should resolve their differences. The second conflict is between 2 fathers and their respective children. They can be found arguing in front of the inn. We'll want to start by saying neither of you are in the wrong. We can then speak to either child and offer them some food to resolve the conflict peacefully, just to make sure the food is fresh and not rotten. If you don't have any fresh food on hand, you can cancel the delivery and go to the nearby inn to grab some.